ano naramdam mo na
Aside sa antok,
aside sa antok, this series, if the first one was a surprise, this one was even more of that.
Oo. Actually, lahat kami dito sa studio and I think everyone at home and I think just everyone, sobrang na-shock talaga doon sa linabas ng blacklist na rotation, na strategy.
Yeah. What
We were
specifically for you na
Okay,
nag-pop off?
Okay, sa amin kasi nun, well, they did run a pseudo 1-2-2.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah,
I would call it that, diba? It was like a pseudo 1-2-2. Almost to an extent, parang 3-1-1. I don't know how to exactly explain it myself. Pero that's how we saw it. Before that, actually, we were already talking about how will Blacklist beat Omega. And then we were like, they need to pull off a double core. But how will they do that? Sabi ko, kung gagamit sila ng marksman, feeling ko, baka kailangan nila magtanggal ng tank. Like, they will not run a tank lineup. Kasi kami personally, like with my Pastor Hokage boys, that's what I call them. So yung
Yung sinabi nila yung hapon yung PHB niya.
Yung PHB boys natin, yan yung Pastor Hokage boys ko kasi. When we run a Fanny lineup, which we still do, we try to take out the tank eh. Kasi we need some sort of firepower to hindi naman like hindi pang box out eh, pero like just to kahit mabawasan lang. Yes, to poke them away. So, ang ginawa nila dito, they had the Diggy, right? So, yung Diggy mismo yung ginamit nila pang box out. It was those bombs eh. Para lang makalapit sila dun sa plating nung first tower.
Game 1 pa lang ng signal, sobrang, ng blacklist. Sobrang surprising nun. And
they ran Popol Kupa as a marksman.
To start it off, or that was either game 1 or game 2, but
that was game
nonetheless, it was a really surprising day number 1. 3-2s all around. Signal Ultra was able to step up and prove the doubters wrong. A lot of people were saying it was a 3-1 or 3-0 for Exe. That wasn't the case. And then, of course, Omega versus Blacklist did not disappoint. The draft battle and the battle of the minds between the coaches, Coach Dale, Coach Bonchan, 3-2 still ang Omega. Sila ang maglalaban sa next semifinals. But for today, it's gonna be Aura PH versus ONIC PH for first set of matches. Let's look into the teams, see how they're feeling going into this one. Ang ating defending champions, Aura PH. I wanna dub this the battle of the Heartbreak Kids kasi heartbreaker to either for Aura, hindi nila madedepensa yung championship nila. ONIC PH, 3 seasons in a row in the playoffs, they're gonna get knocked down by Aura PH, their rivals at this point. Now, looking at the lineup for Aura PH, who stands out here?
Alam mo, sa totoo lang, lahat sila para sa akin. Lahat talaga sila. Even though I keep saying on my status, no, na lagi kong hina-highlight si Kilowash. To be honest, this lineup deserves all the praise in the world. Yung entire roster. Sabi mo nga yung mga heartbreak kids, di ba? Mga K-pop lords. And they really deserve the spotlight kasi imagine mo yung natatanggap nilang recognition. It's not because of their achievements. It's because of their in-game presence. Literal, walang game ang Aura na hindi mo naramdaman lahat ng players. That's the key to victory. And I think this is one of the most fundamental and synchronized lineup to be ever conceived in MPL history. Andyan si Omega, andyan si Blacklist, pero this is the lineup to look forward, to look into when you're thinking about team synergy and may tinatawag akong mechanical influence. Pag sinabi kong mechanical influence, yung laro nung kakampi mo, kung ano man yung mechanical skill mo, nagbe-blend kayong dalawa. And this is why Aura shines so much. Yung mga late game decisions sila. Kasi bakit? Pag naisip na ganito yung isang play, lahat ng players, they will play around that. Meron silang conditions and they hit those conditions. So, I think for me, I really don't like to nitpick a player on Aura kasi it's a team eh. Ito yung team.
Exactly.
Pag tinignan mo yung MPL, ito yung team talaga eh. Sila yung parang, sinong gusto mong team na hindi mo kailangang intindihin yung players, yung mga individual players. Aura talaga yung ibibigay mo sagot.
Gusto ko yung ginamit ni Midnight na term yung mechanical influence. And then as he explained it, isa talaga yung pumasok sa akin. Have you guys heard of, or familiar ba kayo sa The Zone?
The Zone.
No, but The
Zone.
Zone 2.
Yung
Alam
Zone
niyo
2.
yun?
Lahat kayo.
Yung team. Yung pag may isang player na nag-step up, biglang everyone on that team, wait lang, kinilabutan ako. Ang lakas kasi ng aura nitong aura PH. Pero yun nga, like na-imagine ko talaga, like, in a Mobile Legends perspective naman. That's what they do. Like, these players talaga, tama si Midnight, these are 6 superstars.
Yeah.
6 superstars, but potentially it could be the end of an aura kasi laban nila ang ONIC PH. Aura, I choose you. Yan ang sabi ng ONIC because at the end of the regular season, they could have ended up in a different part of the bracket. But what happened was, ito na nga, second day, first matchup, laglagan kung laglagan, Aura versus ONIC. Now, this could potentially be the end of an Aura because behind the scenes, pinag-usapan natin, and there is a bit of an agreement that this is possibly ONIC's or Aura's weakest season, and ONIC playoff mode could show up.
Yeah, alam mo, interesting yung sinabi mo kanina, no? Quick trivia sa mga viewers dyan, no? ONIC on regular season had the choice of playing against Execution in Aura. Kaya nilang piliin yun. Kasi they only needed to secure 1 win. Tapos, bahala na. Diba? Bahala na si Batman. And nangyari, nanalo sila sa Aura.
So, 2-0 pa.
2-0 pa. Ito yung nakakatawa. They could have lost game 2 and lost game 3, patalo nila yung series, and they will face Execution. Pero pinili nilang 2-0 yung Aura. I think this is the reason behind this is gusto talagang labanan ng ONIC PH yung Aura. Kasi for the longest time, ang hirap kalabanin ng Aura. Kasi bakit? Pagdating ng playoffs, saan sila nagkikita? Sa dulo. Nagkakabasahan. And ang lahat ng teams, ang comments sa Aura or Sunsparks before then, sinasabi nila, wala lang bago Sunsparks di ba? Literal naman malalakas lang talaga sila. So if you're ONIC, you are at a disadvantage kasi ikaw yung binabasa ng Aura. Ngayon, first round sila magkikita, and again, this is the weakest season. Personally, I believe that as well. Ito yung talagang nakikita mo yung butas ng Aura, especially when they fought against Blacklist. Lahat ng teams nakita, dito kayo mahina. And the reason behind the thought na ito yung pinakamahinang season nila kasi natatalo sila kung kani-kanina Yung mga last seasons, parang matatalo lang to sa mga BREN, sa mga ONIC. Ngayon, kahit kung sino-sino nakakaisa sa kanila, di ba? So, I think ONIC PH is alam mo yung parang winner pagdating sa bracket. Kasi pinili nila yung Aura first round and they have the best chance. This is the perfect time for for ONIC to alam mo yun, para makaganti, to get the revenge against Aura PH.
Yeah, ultimate revenge possibly.
Oo nga.
For ONIC PH here, and now that was a lot of a discussion around Aura, but now ONIC for you, Chin, is there, before we quickly dive into the interview, something that you want to highlight or a specific thing about ONIC na gusto mo i-highlight going into the series?
Feeling ko baka medyo dangerous din yung approach nila. Because, yun nga, statistically speaking, they never won a series against Aura in the playoffs. So gutom sila. Kumbaga, gutom sila ngayon na tanggalin na tong Aura ngayon. Kasi ayaw na nilang kalabanin na dito. I don't know, I think that kind of, kung ganun man yung strategy nila or ganun man yung thinking nila, I don't know, tingin ko baka pwedeng maging clouded yung pwede silang i-bait like I think
well, let's see kung yun nga ang iniisip ng ONIC PH dito. Let's see what our players are thinking. Here are the interviews.
Kamusta naman ang journey sa MPL Season 6? Mabigat ba dahil defending champions back-to-back pa?
Goods lang naman kami kasi as usual nagpa-practice, nagti-training. Tapos, mas dinalasan lang siguro namin, mas dinamihan namin yung practice hours and training hours namin ngayon kasi bagong sponsor yung dala namin, tapos 2 title pa yung dala namin ngayon.
So about the journey of ONIC-PH this season 6, I would say na mas mahirap siya compared nung journey namin nung season 4 and season 5. Dahil yung season 6 ngayon is mas bigger na siya compared sa mga nakaraang season. And also yung mga kalaban ngayon is mas malalakas na and mas mauutak na compared before. Kaya mapapansin nyo yung journey namin from week 1 is medyo hindi kami stable and medyo nahihirapan kami mag-adjust. But despite nung mga na-experience namin this past few weeks, masabi kong mas nakaka-adapt na kami.
What do you think is your biggest obstacle this season?
I think yung biggest obstacle namin right now is yung mga sarili namin eh. Kasi pag nawala kami ng disiplina, hindi kami mananalo. Pag nawala kami ng gutom sa laro, hindi kami magtitripit. Kumbaga, lahat ng mangyayari, kasalanan namin. It's all about taking responsibility.
What do you think, Coach, is the biggest obstacle? Anong mga humaharang sa inyo?
Aura PH pa rin, tsaka BREN.
And how are you planning na lagpasan ang dalawang obstacle na to?
Siguro tiwala na lang sa isa't isa kasi, ayun nga, gaya ng mga previous season, season 4 against Sunsparks ng finals, and season 5 against Aura PH ng finals din, na umabot kami ng finals. So, ayun, nagtitiwala pa rin ako na kaya namin umabot ng finals at kaya namin mag-champion.
Paano kayo nagpe-prepare ngayon sa playoffs?
For now, nagre-ready kami through training kasi since bagong update siya and marami talagang plays na kailangan nilabas. Ang ginagawa namin, every training namin, gumagawa kami ng bagong play. Tapos the next day, papagandahin pa namin yung play. Tapos the next day, papagandahin namin. Hanggang sa ma-perfect namin yung play. Tapos saka namin gagawa ng panibagong play.
Okay, Wise, paano kayo nagpe-prepare ngayon para sa playoffs?
Ginagawa namin is double or triple effort talaga. Lalo ngayon na nabanggit ng captain namin na lahat malakas na kalaban namin. Ngayon kasi may na kami, management na tumutulong sa amin kung ano yung mga dapat namin gawin.
Dilar, meron ka bang gustong makaharap sa mismong finals nyo? Sino yun? Kung meron, sinong team yun?
Siyempre yung Aura PH kasi 2 beses na namin sila nakatapat nung season 4 at season 5, di ba? Siyempre, masyado na sila sumusobra eh. Lahat sa kanila nilelegan eh. Kaya, yun, gusto ko talaga sila katapat.
Sige, for one last time, gusto kong hingin namin yung gusto nyo sabihin sa fans ninyo at sa mga makakatapat nyo sa playoffs.
Tingin sa mga sumusuporta sa ONIC-PH. Sana suportahan nyo kami hanggang sa dulo. Sa mga susunod naming laban, maraming salamat sa inyo. Sa mga kalaban namin, maganda na kayo.
Thank you sa mga sumusuporta dyan sa Aura PH. I love you all. Masasabi ko dyan sa mga kalaban namin, paghandaan nyo kami parang pag nagkaanak kayo ng babae, paghahandaan nyo yung dibo niya. I hate you all.
One of our more colorful interviews, especially there yun sa dulo. Interesting thing that I want to point out yung sinabi ni Dilar na masyado na daw ang Aura PH. So, hinati na nga ng Aura PH routine nila, K-pop, K-drama sa umaga, practice sa gabi.
Yun.
Medyo curious ako sa sinabi ni Renzo. Hindi ko na-gets eh. Parang paghandaan niyo daw yung lahat ng mga kalapag nanganak kayo ng babae, pag nagdebut niya, handa na rin kayo. I hate you all. Grabe yung Aura PH. Next level, nag-transcend na sila eh. Di mo na maintindihan yung
Beyond understanding na yung mga isip ng dito, ng Aura PH.
Feeling ko kahit yung paggagawa nila nung K-pop, nila ng
baka practice gradually pala yun.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Yung blocking na yun, may blocking din yun sa mapa eh. Hopefully baka makita natin yan mamaya.
Yeah. And hopefully we get to see another level of Aura and ONIC kasi naglagan na nga. Let's look at the numbers heading into the series. We know you love your statistics. Numbers don't lie. Ito, Aura versus ONIC, average KDA, malapit lang naman sila. But match win rate, a little bit higher on Aura's side here. First blood counts, malapit din sila. It's neck and neck, but the average team net worth difference here, ang laki niya na, it's 4th and 5th, but that's a pretty big leap. 1,000 average team net worth difference pabor sa Aura.
Yeah, you know what? Yung KDA, it really doesn't matter for this specific matchup. Kasi yung etong dalawang to, pag naglaban sila, nagbabago laro ng
Right,
dalawa.
exactly.
Specifically, Aura PH. The thing that I have to notice on this stats is yung nabanggit mo, no? Yung average team net worth difference. Aura, for the longest time, every single game that they win, it's always on dominant standpoint. Talagang rogue do, kumbaga, di ba? Or, a late game comeback. And pagdating sa late game kasi usually yung mga gold lead di na nagmamatter yan. Again, it's all boiling down to the mechanical outplay that you can get. Pero with the specific matchup, this is key for Aura PH. They need to establish huge amounts of leads against ONIC. Kasi if you try to look back, no, mamaya makikita natin yung records ng Aura against ONIC. If you try to look back, ang history ng Aura against ONIC, lalo nung Sunspikes pa sila, every single time, na outmaneuver sila ng ONIC PH. Yung resource management, yung map control, and yung macro movements. Dito magaling talaga yung ONIC eh. So if you're Aura, you're banking on your late game potential outplay. And for the longest time, they've been winning that against ONIC. Pero, ONIC changed up in the season. Yung network difference na sobrang importante yan. They're very consistent. Constant to, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng huge amounts of lead in terms of gold. Talagang yung consistent lang. Para nga nagtatransition na nga si ONIC from ONIC PH to semi-blacklist Omega na nagiging methodical na yung approach sa game eh. Pero yung resource management nandun pa rin. So I think this is very key, itong stats na to this specific matchup. Kasi Aura PH, this 2,758 network difference, that's not enough against ONIC PH.
And now here, Aura and ONIC. Let's look at the top hero picks first. Isan Shin, Tams, and Kagura. 12-12-11 para sa Aura, 12-11-11 for the Cho, the Bomber, and Isan Shin as well for ONIC. Naagawan ba to ng Isan Shin? What do you think, Chin?
Maybe for regular season, oo.
Oo.
Maybe for playoffs, I think hindi.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think confident sila na abot silang playoffs eh. So I think they would prepare their more basic stuff for the regular season, and then I'm expecting more of that blacklist game 1 from last night. I'm expecting more of that from Aura and ONIC for today.
Yeah. Potentially the double course. How did we get to this point where finally in the playoffs, parang tagal mo na sinasabi yan sa akin midnight, na parang ang daming teams potentially pwede mag-double core. Here we are, the playoffs, first day, daming double cores nakita.
It's actually one of the first few things that I've noticed nung lumabas yung Project Next. And I believe Paolo Expert touched on this as well. Yung potential ng 1-2-2 setup or yung double course, meron kang marksman sa top or gold lane, meron ka ring hyper carry funnel in the middle lane. The potential with that is ang dami mong nakukuhang gold eh. And the nature of funnel lineups is that parang imbudo nga, di ba? Funnel.
Yes.
Lahat ng resource mo, ipapull mo sa isang hero para yung hero na yun mag-overtake sa game.
Right.
Problem with that is, for the longest time, dahil isang taon na nga yung funnel strat, yung mga teams natuto na kinokontra yung funnel. And Mobile Legends for the previous 2 patches has buffed up the net worth of the entire map. So I think it's parang fair enough na mag-share ng resources to another core para mahahati yung burden ng funnel.
And now here we are, the match history, last game, natapos ang regular season natin, ONIC PH, tinalo nila ang Aura 2-0. Nakita mo nung nag-celebrate sila dun sa player cams. ONIC seemed really happy because they knew we ended the regular season, tinalo natin Aura. We have a chance to get the ultimate revenge, stop them from potentially not defending their championship. Season 6, ONIC 2-0. Aura 3-1 laban sa ONIC for the playoffs finals nung Season 5. And then day 1 nung playoffs natin, Aura and ONIC 2-1. Maybe I'm seeing a bit of a pattern here. Aura, or could it be now ONIC picks and the heroes na gagamitin dito could potentially be the game changer for this one?
For me, I think maybe ONIC laid down their cards too early. I think kasi now they showed Aura na, hey, kaya namin kayong talunin. Parang ganun yung dating. So kailangan matakot na kayo at kailangan maghanda na kayo. Kumbaga ngayon, Aura will be called to step up. Kasi nga tinalo sila at 2-0 sila.
Parang kinolot eh. Parang kinolot, tapos sinabi kay Aura, oy Aura, mag-comment ka nga.
Mismo. So I don't know. I just feel like it's very dangerous. At the same time, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
Kasi I don't think that ONIC will do that kung hindi rin sila handa.
I think for ONIC PH, they confidence din eh. Parang pinapakita mo sa Aura na confident kay. I think it's more important to look at the offlanes ng dalawang teams na to. Kasi I look at Aura PH and ONIC PH, yung affair na to, no, laban ng side lanes talaga to. Marami magsasabi na, oy, tignan nyo si Wise, tignan nyo si JP. They're consistent players, they're stable players. Andyan yung mga Roger Yisonchi nila. Sometimes naglalans ng dalawang to. Actually, very similar ngayon nature ni
JP at saka ni Wise.
JP at saka ni Wise eh. Pero ito magandang matchup to. Even though medyo magkaiba ng role, heart tank and support si Raflesia at si Oh My Venus. These are the yung pillar. These players are the pillar of each team, respective teams. No, Raflesia, siya yung enabler ng plays ng Aura PH and Oh My Venus for the longest time. Ito yung titignan mo kung gusto mo maging support talaga. Ito yung key example kung gusto mo maging support player.
Hashtag how to support.
How to support, diba? Farsa, yung mga Sicilian, Reyna, diba? Yung play ni Venus dito, what I like about it is that it revolves around the movements of his teammates.
Right.
And si Raflesia naman, baliktad. Yung movements si Raflesia, yung kakampi niya, yung gumagamit. So alam mo, medyo contrasting Contrasting yung idea, pero it's what makes the team move. Ito yung identity ng Aura. Si Raflesia nagpapadala niyan. Si Oh My Venus naman sa ONIC PH.
And that is one of the matchups to look out for. Battle of the supports. One in the front line, one in the back line, potentially, depending on how Oh My Venus feels like he is going to be playing this out. Kilowash, Raflesia, Greed, JP, KelVJ, expect the king to be in the gold lane. Kilowash going to be going over onto the XP lane. Raflesia with his signature tank support role. Utility support here para kay Greed, JP onto the mid lane. Now, Chin, how have you been feeling about JP's performance throughout the regular season?
Like what Midnight said, okay naman eh. Like they're both JP and Wise are both very, very consistent. It's actually very hard to differentiate talaga yung performance ng both Aura and ONIC. So I'm not sure like actually how we can actually compare them. You get what I mean?
It's not close.
For me, they're like ano yung tawag dun sa twins? Yung pero hindi sila magkamukha? Fraternal twins? Para silang ganun for me.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a telling sign because for 2 seasons in a row, we could say JP, godlike support, but now godlike carry. Pero ngayon, we can say that maybe Wise can stand toe-to-toe to him.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
a telling sign.
Although, like what Midnight said also, sorry, I want to expound on this lang. For me kasi, I was comparing yung roles sa Mobile Legends with basketball. Like with the tank being the center and the support being the point guard.
Yeah.
Okay, pero for me, if I was gonna look at Raflesia, siya yung tank nila, di ba? Siya yung nasa tank position nila. Para siyang Magic Johnson eh.
Yeah.
Do you know how Magic Johnson creates plays for his teammates, for the Lakers? Parang ganun si Raflesia.
Playmaking,
ito si Akashi si Raflesia. Yung talagang ini-enable niya yung zone. Kaya Aura yung true zone talaga eh.
Dilar, J, Oh My Venus, Wise, and Iyaknu. Dilar, expect that on the XP lane. Tank support for J. Utility support, the loved role of Oh My Venus, Wise in the mid lane or roaming around in the jungle and stuff. Iyaknu going there into the gold lane. Alam nyo na kung saan sila pupunta sa mapa, ano ang magiging roles nila. Potentially, we might see the 6th man come into action here. We might see Renjo come into action. We might potentially see Basic come into action, and that is gonna add a whole different level to our game. Tignan naman natin ano ang magiging kailangan gawin ng mga teams natin as we look into the keys of victory. Target Venus's hero pool, establish an early game lead, draft side lane pressure heroes. You mentioned something like this, Midnight. Shut down at least one side lane and give JP draft priority. Yan ang keys to victory ng Aura.
Yeah, very strong points. Props to sa nagsulat nito. Establish early game lead. Again, ito yung key conditions talaga against ONIC PH. If you want to win against ONIC, kasi if you drag the game out, ONIC PH will naturally outmaneuver you. It is just stats, no? Talagang yung ONIC PH mas maganda yung resource control nila of the entire map. So you need to do that. Ang pinaka-importante dito is, I believe, yung point 1 and point 5. Yung target Venus hero pool and give JP draft priority. Weakest games of ONIC PH are the ones na naiipit sila sa draft pagdating kay Venus. And ang pinakamalakas, yung strongest points naman ng Aura PH for the entire regular season was when JP was given the best possible funnel option for this team. Like for example, kapag first pick yung Roger and walang Natalia, or it's a perfect lane game. Pero even though may mga perfect lane games si JP, hindi ka ganun ka stellar yung performance niya. It's because of the fact na yung kalaban well prepared against the lane. Kasi nung regular season, actually kaya hindi na pinapansin masyado yung lane. Kasi well prepared na yung mga teams against that. Ngayon, kaya lang lumalabas yung lane ulit. Kasi iba na yung build-up killing eh.
Right.
And now, let's see. Ano ba ang magiging keys to victory here for ONIC PH? Secure tanks, win 2 side lanes, force JP on the marksman, execute early aggression, and surprise Aura PH.
I think, I'm sorry, gusto ko lang mag-touch up ulit dun sa keys to victory
go ahead.
kanina ng Aura PH. Kasi, I think it's very out there na isa sa mga biggest weakness nga talaga ng ONIC is the Venus pool, hero pool. Like actually siya rin mismo, like well, Venus is very vocal about it also na hindi talaga malalim yung hero pool niya.
4 or 5 max. 4 or 5 max.
So, yun nga, for me, kailangan nila mag-secure talaga. Kailangan na ma-secure yung it's not here in the key. Yun pala yun, dun ba yun sa secure tanks? No. Di ba na Venus plays tanks sometimes?
Yeah,
Minsan,
kapag naiipit
support
sila.
siya.
Kapag si Jay, yung nagsisilina.
Right.
Yun yung mga times na napapatang si Venus.
So for me, just to add to these keys to victory, feeling ko they have to secure Venus's heroes.
And there you have it. Alam na natin ang keys to victory. We know the stories leading up to it. Aura versus ONIC. Is it potentially the end of an Aura, or maybe there is a bit of that factor na isipin mo ONIC PH, 3 seasons in a row. Potentially, if matalo dito ang ONIC, it could be their last hurrah. Potentially. Not saying anything here, but it's that feeling of 3 seasons na tayo. Are we gonna still keep at it? It is a heartbreaking game, potentially. Aura versus ONIC, what is usually our grand finals, it is the first match of the second day of the playoffs. I'm Reptar, Chin Valdez, Midnight, panel. We are done here. Let's bring it to our casters para sa draft.
Hi, Aura PH. Thanks for being fan-friendly. Aura Fire.
Aura Fire.
Aura Fire.
Aura Fire!
Aura Fire.
Aura Fire.
Aura Fire!
Aura Fire!
Hi guys, I'm Kayla Heredia, also known as K-Bear, and I'm inviting all of you to come and support ONIC PH.
Go ONIC!
Go, ONIC.
Hashtag all for ONIC.
Hashtag all for ONIC.
Hashtag go ONIC.
Welcome back to the Casters Desk. Thank you so much to our panelists Des, and here we go. I'm your anchor for today here in the international stream. My name is Manjin Faldas. I am with my partner Wolfcast, and we are called The Connection for game number 1 of day number 2 of the playoffs. It is again the El Clasico. Wolf, I have one question. Are you ready for another long day?
I am not ready, but we will be ready.
Yes.
Don't worry, not ready right now, but I'm sure that eventually we will. No, just kidding.
Because you are never ready.
We are never ready.
Yes. Here we go.
Was it Spider-Man?
It was, I think it was Batman.
It was Batman. All right.
No, it was Alfred.
It was Alfred.
Yes. By the way, here we go. Going back to the topic, our panelists said this, that this is going to be a heartbreaking moment for the fans of MPL, because for the first time after 2 seasons, it's going to be an elimination game between Aura PH and ONIC PH. One has to go.
What after this, somebody will go home. Although literally they're already at home, I think.
Yes,
because of the pandemic. But kidding aside, this is the end of the road for the losing team. We saw yesterday that it was definitely heartbreaking, but at the same time, the fact that it is a single elimination, it brought out the best in the teams that we saw yesterday. Like, who would have thought that Blacklist International will push it against Omega, right? And who would have thought Signal Ultra in their rookie season as players will really challenge Execration to that point? So this one, it has happened before. A best of 5 series already happened twice before. It all went in favor of Aura, but this time maybe ONIC can take it. Maybe.
Maybe, because who would have thought that we're going to have this in the first round? And of course, given the history between these two teams, I think the last week of the MPL groups, that was the first time where ONIC PH defeated Aura PH in a series.
That's
so this
right.
means that the momentum is in the hands of ONIC right now.
Yeah, and that could be something that ONIC can use as a confidence booster, but definitely not a reason for them to be overly complacent against their opponent. This is still Aura PH. You know what? I think I agree with some of the players or some of the fans when they were saying that Aura PH was kind of distracted, was a little bit there are a lot of other things that is going on in the mind of Aura PH before.
Yeah.
And then we had a 1 week preparation, a break.
Yeah.
This, actually more than a week. This will be great.
Yeah,
Aura
man,
PH.
this is going to be interesting because both of these teams, they prepare a lot for every fight that they do. That's why I think I've been hearing rumors of of people saying, hey, Aura's gonna take it away too, because there's always this playoff Aura mode.
The playoff Aura.
But same goes with the ONIC PH, especially that's what we call the ONIC magic, right?
The ONIC magic, indeed. There's also another magical moment that I kind of want to bring up again, because this was said in the panel. They transform when they face up against each other. Aura PH is totally different when they're facing up against ONIC. They're so good. That is also true with ONIC. When they're facing against Aura, it seems like they put 100% of their brain capacity.
I like your point about that because, again, these guys are the so-called rivals
Destined
in the league.
rivals.
Destined rivals. And if you watch stories, if you watch anime, if you watch legendary stories about rivals, both of those guys, the opponents, they know each other so well. They know each other perfectly to the point that they know the next movements. Man, this is going to be interesting. The draft is starting right now. We are seeing Aura PH in their camera. And look at this. Starting with the Uranus, the Barretts, and the Natalia band. Meanwhile, for ONIC, what do we have here?
It's Selena and Esmeralda. You have to take note. These three heroes, that Aura PH band, these are the heroes that ONIC PH got when they won against them. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I like that your point, because the Selena is actually a high win rate hero if you give it in the hands of Greed.
Exactly.
Aura's ex-teammate. Sorry, ONIC's ex-teammate. And then, because of that, I think ONIC PH, their plan here is that to respect every perfect hero, every strong hero for the side of Aura PH. Yeah.
So you take away all of the comfort picks, basically speaking. And you can see ONIC PH now, they gave away the Yuzong. This is one of their best picks. And if you think about it, the picks of ONIC PH have been banned out, particularly on the side lanes.
Yeah.
Most particularly for Dilar. You still have the Thams, and you still have the Khalid. Now it's picked up. Khalid is a hero that wasn't really the priority yesterday. In fact, there were times that there's no pick nor ban on this hero.
The Khalid,
on the Khalid, but
usually we see it on the fourth pick.
Exactly.
And people are using it more of a tank rather than a side lane. Just want to talk about the side lane matchup here. You've been talking about this. Erasing Glar's pool and erasing Iakno's pool. How will this affect ONIC PH?
Definitely big. Because most often teams just take away Venus heroes, right? And they don't focus on Dilar, they don't focus on Iakno, and then they get defeated. Aura PH is totally different. They know the main anchor, the main cornerstone of what makes ONIC PH successful, and that is the Oh My Venus.
Yeah, the Queen.
The Queen.
And still no heroes yet for the Queen. But speaking of support, there you go. You now have it for the side of Aura PH. The Farsa. I could therefore say that the Farsa is the most successful hero yesterday in the MPL playoffs, especially with the last series of Omega versus Blacklist International. Now in the hands of Greed, plus the Roger and the Yuzong. The first three picks right now of Aura PH is looking perfect for their squad.
That is actually amazing that you pointed out. It just makes a lot of sense against ONIC PH. And also, I like what you said about the success rate of these heroes. Farsa is really the key heroes yesterday. It lost in the last game of yesterday's matches or earlier of today's matches, by the way. But kidding aside, this is a hero that that is, how do I say this? It's plug and play. You can put it in any kind of lineup.
Yeah, and
it will make sense.
It's also an ONIC specialty, I think.
Wow.
But is that true though?
0% win rate on Greed's Farsa. It's interesting.
I think you need to double check that, Wolf.
That is actually true too.
Oh my.
Only picked twice in the group stages and
Okay.
lost both of those times.
Okay, that's quite big.
That is massive because it kind of that probably is why ONIC-PH banned out Valir and Selena, and then they gave away the Farsa on the first. I mean, they could have picked that up, but they gave it to ROPH and
Because they know the stats.
they know the stats.
They did the research. Wow, this is interesting coming in from ONIC-PH. I also like the Yishun Chin pick, the immediate Yishun Chin pick, so that right now, for the last few phases of the picks and bans, we're now focusing on the tanks here,
Yeah.
Wolf. So what are the priority picks and bans?
Obviously, for ROPH, you want to look at Kufra. It's already banned out. You want to look at Atlas. They're picked up by ROPH as well. Although Atlas is not a hero that you kind of see more often.
Yep.
Hilda is surprisingly not